What will you remember from this evening? Well, I work on memory and I can assure you of two things. One, you will remember something. Two, a reasonable part of your recollections will be inaccurate. And I wish to explain why. In order to understand why, I have to give you a crash course in the science of the memory and the brain. But don't worry, it's going to be very short. It's going to be composed of 2 chapters, each maybe a minute, maybe 2. So first of all, we have to understand chapter number 1. We have to understand how memories mature in our brain. Items in memory have a biography. They are born, we call it in the scientific language, they are encoded in the brain, and then they mature. Sometimes they don't, and they remain in short-term memory and we forget them immediately. Or we think we forget them. That's another story. But if they mature into long-term memory, they undergo a phase which we call in our professional language consolidation. And the interesting point about consolidation, which lasts anywhere between a few minutes to a few hours after encoding the memory, is that you can disrupt the memory and erase it in consolidation. So there are many ways of doing that, some behavioral ways, some pharmacological ways, and people do that. So we can erase your long-term memory by preventing it from becoming long-term memory. However, if your memory consolidated into a long-term item and you keep returning to the same item again and again, exactly the same item, like in a procedure, like when you ride a bicycle or drive a car or unbutton your shirt or whatever, the memory is not going to change, usually. It's a consolidated memory. Chapter number 1. Chapter number 2. We have many types of memory systems in our brain. And one of the most interesting one is the one that you experience now, which is the memory of events in your life. The interesting point about memory of events in your life, in our life, is that they are one-shot experiences. Even if you come to this building again, to this hall again, and you observe the same company and the same scientist, it's not going to be the same. Because it's not in the same time, we all matured, something happened in between. So the memories that you recall of the events in your life, they reconsolidate every time you recall them because they are not exactly the same as they were before. So now you can change them while recalling them. And that's what you do. Whenever you recall a memory of an event in your life, in a way, you recall the last time you recalled it. So the memory is inaccurate. It's an interesting issue why the brain has created, or evolution has created a memory system in our brain which is not so accurate. And I'll just give you a hint. It's probably because this allows imagination, but we don't have time to talk about that. But the fact that we may have memories that change mean that the memories that are most accurate are the memories that are never used. Come to think about it. If you don't use your memory, if you don't recall again and again and again and again, the memory will be accurate. The first time you recall it, it's more accurate than the memory that is recalled again and again and again and again. And therefore, whenever you see a biography, don't trust a word. Because that person has probably recalled that 20 times, even if that person wrote the biography himself or herself. So let's imagine the following. So now we know everything. You know everything you need about memory. Two lectures, 1.5 minutes each. We call it Memory 101, Introduction to Memory. Now, imagine the following. You observe a group of people. They are moving. They move again and again, but each time a little bit differently. What is it that you are going to remember later? The first time? The second time? The third or the nth time? Now, sometimes the memory will be fixated in your brain like a still image. Then, will you recall the image as is, or will you try to take the building blocks of the image and mix it together like in a dream? And by the way, you mix a lot of your memories in the dream. So think about it while you observe the next piece. Let's memory speak.